ain't nothing more beautiful than to see black men come together on some positive and just really just take it to the next level, on the education level, on the soul level, on the spirit level. I feel honored just to be in this moment right now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna free my soul, but we're gonna start low, man. We're just gonna bring it up to a rejoice, how we normally do it, you know? So let's go, man. We start low. Free my soul, hey, free my soul, hey, free my soul, hey, free my soul, hey, free my soul. Free my soul. What? Free my soul. What? Free my soul. Say. Free my soul. What? 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 Free my soul. Yeah. Free my soul. Hey, hey.
All right, brothers, have a great evening. Have a great evening.
When you say kingmaker, I'm just thinking that we literally are providing them the opportunity to see themselves as kings. In Unit 3 of the curriculum, we actually asked that question of our young people. Why do we sometimes refer to you as kings, right? And the answer in the curriculum is to remind you of your legacy, to remind you of your history, because that is one thing that you do not have, that we do not oftentimes know and do not oftentimes have. This is a real crude analogy, but it's seeming to work, right? So for African males, oftentimes because of the culture, corporate rap, not hip hop, but corporate rap and all the media and all the movies, they have created a pit bull image for our brothers. So when people look at them who don't know them, who don't understand us, you know what I'm saying, come with that frightened stuff, and then they feel offended. Yeah. They feel judged. They feel and it does anger them. So our boys are not pit bulls. They don't have an instinct to chase, but they do have a defensive, hurt nature. Right. That you coming at them like they did something or like they're going to do something, and it creates the tension and the drama and the negativity. You don't treat me like you treat, this is the implicit bias, right? You're not treating me the way you're treating her. You said hi to her and you said hi to me. You know what I mean? So you said hi, you smiled at this one, but you didn't smile at me.
Like, this is a rough draft paper that he's passing out right now. You're basically going to rough draft whatever your poster is. Yeah, like American Ice.
Yeah, they feel like that I'm a threat to them, basically. Like, I'm not going to be handling my business. I'm not going to be a 3.0 student. It changed because they finally know who I really am. They don't really just perceive me as a black male.
I love dealing with our young boys who need that help and who need that support, and who other adults, they may not have the support system. Other teachers may have given up on them, and they don't see the brilliance and they don't see the potential in all of our kids the way I do. Taiwan Johnson, got a little rough around the edges, very loud, really boisterous, but not a lot of fun personality, but has a little temper. You can kind of tell he grew up in the urban areas of Oakland. Taiwan, mentioned in a class conversation that Asians are just smarter than African Americans. And that took me back, and Brother Jai, he was in the classroom and kind of smashed and stopped and kind of dealt with that. So a week later, we're going through our curriculum, and Taiwan this similar conversation came up, and Taiwan raised his hands again, and he has a different opinion, and they're not smart. Well, why last week Taiwan was something different? Well, now I know that civilization began in Africa. We were the first teachers, astronomers, historians, architects.
What are the struggles that stop people from transforming?
So like perseverance kind of?
Yeah, that out of that, because now we can dig deep, we can go down that hole. So you can know that transformation is one of the meanings of life. Okay, got it. But now, how do you transform? How?
We're watching a video of, a rap video, and the guy's in jail, singing, dancing, having fun, and I pause it, and what does this say to you? Well, it looks like jail is fun. Well, now let's think about what you guys know about jail, because some of my kids I have 2 kids whose fathers are in jail. One kid whose father recently was released. So our kids have some personal experience with this. And they were like, well, I know off top jail is not a cool place to be. I know I don't want to be there. So why do you think this rapper is doing that? Well, it's all a part of the game and getting you to believe certain things about yourself.
And that without understanding your history and the history in this country, you will look around and you can easily feel somewhat of an inferiority complex because they have and I don't have. right? Or we're at the bottom. You know what I mean? Their scores are this and our scores are this in general. You know what I mean? And if you don't understand history, the legacy, right? Then that sense of what it means to be you will be lacking.
I have a really strong relationship with my students inside of school and outside of school. I think that's something that we're lacking now with teaching. A lot of teachers aren't connecting with students. I really try to let them in, to let them see that I'm just like them and they're just like me. Some of the things that they face, to me, are heartbreaking, and I know a lot about their personal lives. Some have lost family members, some have been homeless, some are only in single parent houses, particularly just mothers. They talk to me about the difficulties and how they're trying to raise their sons and what can they do.
I was just walking down my neighborhood like I do every day. Someone walked up to me, asked me, what gang am I from? But as I'm looking at him, I see him reaching for something. I immediately put my hands up. I'm not trying to die. So he points it at me. He looks at me, he puts it away, and he keeps walking. I think I dodged a bullet, but my days are not promised, so that could have been the end of my life right there.
I can speak particularly towards Michael's situation, the way he views himself, the way he looks at himself, the way he carries himself in the classroom. I had him last year as a 7th grader, and it wasn't that he was a bad student, but he didn't really know who he wanted to be in school. He didn't know which crowd he wanted to hang with, and I think we had a couple talks, and after that, his view of himself just changed, and he's one of the strongest leaders I have in the class. He's a standout.
From 6th grade to 8th, I changed a lot. Like, my transformation has been great. My average GPA in 6th grade was a 2.8. Now it's a 3.8, and now I'm on student council. If I didn't have MDP, I don't know where I'd be in life.
Do you agree with the author's statement? Yes or no? Why or why not? I need you to be detailed in that, okay?
There are not enough men of color in the educational field. And those people need to be there to serve our young people.
So when you think about exposure, think about what you've been opened up to, what you've been taught the process of. What process did you understand? As one of our MDP people say, Lamar Hancock at Tech, I stole this from him, upset the setup. These kids is getting set up, preschool to prison pipeline set up. And we gotta change that, because if not, it's only gonna get worse. And we'll only be eradicated as black men, because they're gonna have all of us locked up.
And I've been to some of your sites where I've had to go straight at some brothers. Lamar, got turned up in his class the last time I was in there. But when I see those brothers later on, there's a clean slate. That's one. Number two, if you want to lose the integrity of your class in the last couple weeks, let your class do something and you say, well, if y'all do that, this is not going to happen, and then you don't follow up. Because that's a real serious manhood lesson that they get. Because a lot of times somebody say, I'm going to call your parent, and they don't get a chance to call, then they already know that, so they already playing that particular game. So it's very important in these last couple weeks to, as always, just be a man of your word. When they come the next day, you treat them the same greatness that they are, and you'll find that they'll wrestle with that. Because they're like, oh, we cool today, Sean? Because yesterday you was handing me my head. You know, oh, that's love.
With the African American Male Achievement Program, the first thing is we're focusing emotionally and physically as well. So when combating issues, first thing we got to tell them to do is breathe, because that's the thing that they forget to do the most, is to breathe, and to really just think about what they're going to say, think about how they're going to react, think about the consequences if they react negatively, think about the attributes when they think positively.
I realize that we're planting and watering seeds, and that God in time will just make those seeds grow, and that I'm hoping that some of those lessons will come up at just the right time, before it's too late. But I see the urgency, and so we go hard.
10 years from now, I expect to have my walls in my classroom dedicated with nothing but hoodies and sweatshirts from whatever college, university, program, upper division of study that you go into. If you went somewhere and you took your education to another level, you kicked it up a notch, you focused it up a notch, you know what I mean? That means we've accomplished something.
I think at the end of the day, it's love. To see them love themselves, to see them love each other, to see them embrace concepts about themselves that they didn't know, for them to be able to have that rapport with me and open up to me, and for me to be able to open up my world and let them in. It's just a beautiful symbiotic relationship that we have. So when I'm able to, treat them like my family and be embraced like family, then it's a wonderful feeling, that you've actually created a safe space for them to blossom.
Teaches you about being in boyhood to manhood, which is almost the greatest level. Their actual greatest level is being a king. And it teaches you not to get caught up in the media or the matrix. So when I become a scientist, I want to be a biologist and a chemistry scientist, and I want to cure cancer. And maybe after that, cure some more stuff.
Who are you?
I'm a king, and you?
A kingmaker, the AAMA way, live in the Bay.
Welcome to our world, come see what's good.
It's deeper than a class, it's really a brotherhood. Who are you?
I'm a king, and you?
A kingmaker, the AAMA way, live in the Bay.
Welcome to our world, come see what's good.
It's deeper than a class, it's really a brotherhood.
Gentlemen, come and take a seat. It's a class where the past of the kingdom makers meet. At the end of the day, it's a space to let us breathe. Let the noise out there motivate